Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Anthony Wint, who will fight on Fury FC 103, March 23rd. Hello, Anthony. How are you?
Oh man, good afternoon. I don't know what time it is over there for you, but it's about 3 o'clock over here, so it's good to be on the show.
Thank you for taking the invitation. And to be honest, I think that heavyweight division always needs some good prospect because this is quite the not the deepest division in MMA. So it's super cool that there is a good heavyweight regional fight. And if you can tell me, because you will make your Fury FC debut, do you feel any stress before your fight? Because this is quite a big promotion.
Stress. I mean, I don't know if I'll label it stress. Definitely nerves. And obviously as the fight approaches, it gets a little bit higher. But I think with proper training, all those things go away when you get in the cage. I personally have 5 fights, 3 amateur, 2 pro. And as you mentioned, this is probably my biggest promotion. Kudos to Omar. He's probably my best opponent. But the more you prepare, the more you realize you're supposed to be there. The nerves go away. And I used to play football. It's like when you make that first tackle or you make that first catch, everything else goes away. So, yeah, the stakes are higher this time. It's a bigger promotion. But I know I'm built to be in that position.
And did you have any chance to watch any of his fights?
I watched all of them that I could. He has a good amount of them. I watched his amateur fights. Watched his, I think he has 2 with the promotion. So with Fury, he fought Smith and he fought Flagler. Obviously, he lost against Flagler, but still a pretty competitive first round. Obviously, he's a big dude, so I'm looking to throw down with him.
And of course, like Fury FC, it's a great promotion that they put a lot of fighters to the UFC, to really good prospects. But do you have more fights on your contract with Fury FC, or is it like one fight deal?
It is a multi-fight deal. Which I obviously outside of the PFL and the UFC, it's not something I really considered with smaller promotions. But with Fury and the fact that they can get me a lot of fights, which is probably the biggest thing I've had problem with over the last 2 years, is something that caught my attention. And I ended up signing a 4 fight deal with them. Obviously with the um, the ties that if the UFC or PFL calls that I can get out of it. But yeah, 4 fight deal, and this is gonna be the first one.
So right now you are 2-0, and with 4 wins, 6-0 heavyweight. I think even for the UFC, it can be like good name and good record to have. And actually, I saw that you had a PFL fight booked in 2023. And can you tell me what's happened that the fight in the end didn't happen?
Yeah, almost what 2 years ago now. I was supposed to fight Abraham Babley, who was undefeated at the time. Really nice prospect out of I believe France or the UK. Big dude, athletic, very good matchup for me. I ended up signing the contract. Obviously, he signed as well. And about a week before, and I felt terrible. I ended up DMing him. I ended up getting stabbed in my leg. That was really bad. I had to take antibiotics, and it progressed. I ended up having to get it drained. I probably waited about a day just to see how it played out. It was my first time getting stabbed. And my coaches let me know that with the antibiotics, without being able to train, we knew conditioning would be a big factor, and I had to pull out the fight, unfortunately.
So it's I think that it would be good to give that if the PFL would give you a second chance because like you said, he's actually a really good heavyweight, and it probably would be a really high level fight. So it's not good thing that the fight didn't happen, but in the end we are in the Pure FC, so it's not a bad result in the end.
I think everything happens for a reason. It taught me about obviously the dangers of MMA, not just the physical part, but the hygiene. It gave me more time to train, which obviously the last 2 years have been frustrating. I've only fought 1 time, I think maybe twice, against guys who weren't necessarily on my level. As I mentioned, Omar is probably the best guy I've fought, probably one of the most well-rounded I've fought in the professional division. But with that being said, with all this time, I've had time to develop my mind, develop my body, and to become a better overall fighter. So, nothing's lost over time if you're preparing the right way.
And if you can tell me more about the reason why you get to MMA, because I know that you have like a football background that you played, and but how did you in the end get to the sport of MMA?
Long story short, man, you were saying, I play football. I played football pretty much my entire life since I was about 6 years old. Played college football, played in the NFL. NFL is obviously a revolving door. It's a lot of guys that come in and out. And I was one of those guys who was good enough to get there, but quite honestly wasn't good enough to stick around. I got cut. Obviously, waiting for a team to pick me up, and I was signed to a Canadian football league. Then COVID hit in 2020, and I was signed to FRM, which you may be familiar with, First Round Management, who used to manage John Jones, Jorge Masvidal, obviously most notably Ilia Topuria now. So they do really good at MMA. And my agent at the time, Malki Kawa, reached out to me multiple times, just kind of encouraging me to try MMA. I had wrestled in high school. I was a state runner-up. I said no a bunch of times, but man, God pulled up my shoulder and let me know that I could be successful there, not just for my own will, because like I said, I'm just a man. I will continue to grow. I will continue to have success, whether in MMA or not, and I will continue to fail. But with God and God's perseverance and His hand on me, He let me know that I could succeed here, and I will succeed here, and that's kind of the main thing that fuels me. So mainly, just my wrestling background and the fact that my football agent at the time is notably one of the best MMA agents as well, even though I'm not with them anymore. But they are well known for their MMA background.
With the like football experience, probably because you were a high level athlete for many years, it probably like really help you in like in doing any kind of sport, but especially in MMA, this kind of discipline that you know when to train, how to do it right. Probably even if like football and MMA is not maybe not super connected, the discipline can go from one sport to the other.
So I think being an athlete at the highest level, seeing how guys prepare, I was able to be around Jamal Adams. Me and Sam Darnold were in the same class. Just seeing how preparation at the highest level is performed, I can translate that to MMA, who notably is a little bit behind as far as like the holistic approach to preparing an athlete. It's a little bit more individualized, both as preparation and the pieces around it. So. I'm with a great team with Fury FC. I mean, not Fury FC, but Killcliff FC, and they have a bunch of big guys, a bunch of guys. They have a facility where they have weight training and obviously athletic training connected to it. They have a team that is running a more of a pro style, and from training with them, I've been getting a lot better, been progressing a lot better, and in the direction I want to progress in.
So like the Killcliff probably is the best place to be in. It's like top. Of course, you can say like ATT or probably some other team, but it's like definitely you can say that this is the best gym in the world.
Definitely one of the best gyms in the world. I'm not complaining at all. Henry Roof is great, my head coach, and then my personal coach Dieter Navarro's has been amazing. And for the most part, I mean, one of the reasons I came to the gym, I had heard about it, I had been researching, but Impa Kasanganai, also the reason I had a lot of interest from PFL, former PFL champion. He trains there as well. He's one of my main training partners. So just all those aspects made me want to go to Kill Cliff. Obviously, American Top Team was an option. There were other gyms in Florida or other states that were an option, but I'm extremely happy with the development I've been getting at Killcliff.
And also, I saw that you have like a grappling competition that you start in, like grappling competition, right? That you like to put yourself in this kind of challenges.
Yeah, I wrestled in high school, and that's part of my best aspect. Am I the best wrestler in the world? Obviously, I lost my last match in high school, but I think a combination of, like you said, brute strength, my athletic ability, and the fact that I know what I'm doing when it comes to wrestling. There's a lot of people who know how to wrestle, but maybe they're not strong enough, and maybe they don't know enough. I have a very unique combination of knowing enough wrestling and being really strong enough to get things that I want done when it comes to grappling.
And do you like to watch heavyweight division, especially in the UFC?
Oh, I'd love to. I think a guy who I look at who does very well, who has my similar build is I don't want to butcher his name, but Jalil Alton. the Brazilian. He lost to Curtis Blurs not too long ago, and he has I don't want to say similar style, but similar attributes and the ability to be able to get people down at will. And that's something when you look at the heavyweight division, the sluggishness of them. Obviously, they have their benefits as well, being very big, like my opponent Omar. But usually, the punches come a little bit easier to see. And as I'm developing in the striking realm, that's something that I can use to my advantage. My speed, my athleticism, and the fact that I'm not easily bullied around, so even though I'm probably giving up 20, 30 pounds at a time.
And like in heavyweight division, like of course the John Jones is the champion, but there are not so many great grapplers. Of course, there is like Curtis Blades, like you mentioned, Jailton Almeida. So there are few guys who can definitely grapple on the high level. But I think that when you have a very good grappler in heavyweight division, he can do some damages because it's just more than just pure power in the stand up.
100%. I think grappling is my best attribute, but it's also being keen and locking in on developing everything else. When I first started fighting, I thought I could be a champion, and this was 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, in 2, 3 years. And yes, it's possible, but being one dimensional is a way for you to get hurt very easily. Obviously, you saw that with not picking on with Almeida and the Curtis Blaze fight. His bruteness to get the takedown with most guys works, but with Curtis Blaze, you stop a couple takedowns. It's okay. Now you have to strike. You have to be able to throw hands, and that's the level I'm trying to get at. Obviously, I'm still developing. This is my third fight, and in my opinion, I can take down almost anybody. But you'll get to the point where you meet that guy who will stop a takedown or two, and your gas tank has to be there, or who won't be. You won't be able to take down that will, and have to be able to stand up on the feet. So that's the definite goal to be the best in the world, and to be the best in the world, you got to be well rounded.
But I think that you have this kind of advantage that for heavyweight division you are still quite young fighter because the fighters from heavyweight division can be like 35 or 38 and they can challenge for the title. They can be a champions, of course, like John Jones is right now the champion. So I think that in the end, even that you have just two pro fights, you have like a lot of time for the improvements.
My grandfather used to always tell me, man, don't count your days, make your days count. So I have a lot of time on my hands, but it's ultimately is depend on what I do with them. Obviously, I'm 29 now, but I started fighting when I was 25. And like I said, when I was 25, I thought I'd be in the UFC when I was 27. 4 years have passed, and I'm not looking back at it like if I wish I would have did this or did that, but taking the lessons I've learned along the way and make sure I carry them with me. Because that would be the biggest fault that if I went through the last 4 years, injuries, agent changes, coaches changes, fallouts from fights, and not learned and during that process. So I'm full of joy because I take every moment as a learning experience.
And do you have like heavyweight from the UFC that you watch him and you think that it would be like interesting fight for you that you would like to face him?
Not necessarily. Like I said, I think when you get to the top five, top eight, those are guys who are all round, well rounded. So that's my main goal of being the best version of myself. Not necessarily looking at somebody else, but looking at somebody like Almeida, it motivates me to say that guy's really good at wrestling. That guy's really good at putting people on the ground, and I pride myself in doing the same thing. So he's not too old of a fighter. I think he's maybe 34, 33, and then obviously being the guy at the bottom, the guy who's not in the UFC, you look at someone obviously like John Jones, who more than likely won't be there while I'm there, but fingers crossed. You always want to be the best. But looking at someone like the guy he's going to fight and saying, like, hey, he's still young. He's still 32, I think maybe 33. In 2 years, when I'm in the UFC, he'll still be there. So I definitely, that's something I mark on my mind. But at the end of the day, I got to get past Omar El-Sahlah first. So he's a big challenge. He's a guy who likes to fight. He's a big guy. He's, like I say, he's well rounded. And the best thing about me, he has great conditioning. So that's something I have to get off my back as far as like um, a bridge I got to cross.
And actually, also sometimes the like heavyweight fighter can have cardio problems that he's like super dangerous in the first round, but like second or third, he's a little bit like gas out. But I think that cardio, especially in the heavyweight division, can actually win a fight.
100% can. And like I said, Omar has shown that. If you look at his fight, I forget who he fought, but the black dude, really tall with dreads. I think his last name was Smith. First round was very competitive. Second round, he teetered on him. In the third round, he gave up. So that's something I watch time and time again. Me being muscular, me being athletic, and I know something he's marked on his board. Like this guy's not going to outlast me, and that's something I have to have in my mind that he's thinking that, and that I can't let it happen. So cardio, not just for heavyweights, I think for any weight classes, probably the biggest aspect. Obviously, being clean with your punches, and then just having pure will to not lose.
Okay, Anthony, so many thanks for the conversation. I think that it will be a really good fight, and I hope that with a win you will get another Fury FC fight quite soon.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been a great show, great conversation, and hopefully we can talk again after I get this W.